You are joining Making a Difference with Melissa Clark, a new show that shares the compelling stories and voices of well-known and everyday people who change the world in big and small ways. Enjoy our guests, call in, or just listen to be inspired. For this show was made with you in mind. Please join us every Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with our special guests. And you can listen to our recast at www.melissaclarkshow.com.
Hi, thank you so much for joining us here on Making a Difference. I'm Melissa Clark. We are thrilled to have our first poetry reader on. Her name is Shohini from India, and she wrote this wonderful poem titled I Am Beautiful. It's in regards to being comfortable in our own skin, and that's what our episode is about today. I invited Lindsay Iadeluca on. She is a beautiful News 10 reporter from Rhode Island. She went public with a viewer's opinion on how she should dress. So please take a look. I enjoyed the conversation, and we really hope that we can help people out there who are being shamed for what they look like. Lindsay, thank you so much for joining us today. You look gorgeous.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. It's important that we get this message out. A friend of mine shared this video that you had put out, and I was just like appalled by it. So,
yeah.
And I could only imagine, I saw your face. So would you mind playing that voice recording for us?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Pull it up here.
So this is going to be a viewer for the listeners because we have an audio side as well. This is a viewer had left a message for Lindsay, and this is what she had to say.
So I actually got the audio that came through my email as well, and I wanted to play that for you guys now that I have the audio and I have found out that this came from another woman, which women really need to lift each other up more. This is tough to listen to, but I want to play it for you guys.
Lindsay Iadeluca, I want to know where you go shopping because I want to do the same thing. Do you go for skinny girl shopping because you simply do not fit in any of your clothes and you look horrendous on the TV? So why can't you go to a woman's shop and buy some clothes that fit, and then maybe you can appear normally as every other, or wear a jacket just like other news women are wearing a jacket over your back. You look horrendous. Do that, or just get off the air then, because I don't know who is dressing you. I don't know if you have mirrors in your house, but please look in the mirror before you get on to the newscast and look at yourself, because you look horrendous with those, especially tonight, the friggin' balls hanging off your dress and the dress being so tight. You could see your private area. How immature do you look? How vulgar do you look?
It's a nice message. I mean, you know, it's a little embarrassing at the end there. Why? Okay, I would like to know your thoughts, and a lot of people would like to know your thoughts. When you first heard that, how did you feel, Lindsay?
I mean, it's hard to listen to, obviously. I actually read it first through a transcript that was sent to my email before I listened to it. But I have to say, when I listened to it, it was even worse. It's just demoralizing.
Yeah.
That's really, I think that's the best way to put it, especially when she started talking about the fact that, like, you could see like my private area.
That I didn't like, yeah.
I'm like, why are you, first of all, you can't. Second of all, why are you looking at that? Why aren't you listening to the message that I'm saying as I'm anchoring a newscast?
Right.
So it was brutal to listen to.
When you and I spoke, you had said that some days you can handle it and some days you can't.
Yes.
You're a human being. I mean, you know, you're a beautiful woman,
Thank you.
and God bless you, you know, and you're there to do a job. And,
Yes.
you know, we're all, right now, people are judging us. You know what I mean? People are judging me. Do I care? Absolutely not, because I want to get a message out, and I wanted people to know how you felt about this message. Now, was this the first message that you've ever received regarding?
No, certainly not. I think that this one was probably the worst, though.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, this was just like, I was just like, whoa, this is next level.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that, you know, obviously, as you know, we get people that don't like the way we look or don't like the way we sound or whatnot, because we're in the public eye. But just to be so rude about it was brutal. I have many mirrors in my house.
Sure you do.
Like,
You're absolutely, you know, I'm not going to keep saying it, and it doesn't even matter. You seem like such a wonderful person too.
Thank you.
We've been talking back and forth, and, you know, you're just trying to do your job that you love to do.
Yes.
And so if you were to confront this person, or even now, like, what would you say to this woman? Like, what would be your question to her?
My question to her, I don't even know if I have a question to her, more as I feel sorry for her.
Yeah.
The fact that she feels that way, and the fact that obviously she was brought up to believe that there is only one kind of beauty, or there is one kind of ideal look that everybody should kind of fit in to their own, you know, that one little thing. And it's just not like that. Like,
yeah.
She sounds very hurt.
Yes.
So I mean, my thought was, I'm wondering if, you know, she grew up and somebody was really rough to her on her image or something like that. And because I think that a lot of us know when people do things like that, they're projecting.
Yes.
But more so as a question, I'm sorry that she feels that way and thinks that way, truthfully.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. And, you know, when that happens to me as well, and I spoke to you about this, I like to take it a different approach, right?
Yep.
So I'm into meditation, I'm into spiritual, and I am also a human being. So when somebody knocks me down, my whole life I've been thin. So I've got ridiculed for being thin.
No, I was going to say, and it's so true. And I'm so glad that you bring that perspective to the table, because I remember my old co-anchor telling me, you know what I mean? Like, his wife, very, very thin woman, like, people would be like, oh, well, you need to eat a cheeseburger. Like, that's not okay either.
Yes.
It's just like, people come in so many different shapes and sizes, and we just need to be more accepting of that. Both ends of the spectrum, truly.
It's true. And it hurt my feelings as well. And now that I've gained a couple of pounds, I like the way I look. I
look wonderful.
I became a woman at 38. You know what I mean? Now I'm 40, but I love the way I look. And, you know, I could tone up and I can be healthy and take care of myself. That's between me, myself, and God. So yes. I don't have anybody to answer to. And us as women, my question to you is, do you feel that you have to maintain a certain weight in the industry that you're in?
It's interesting that you ask that, because yes and no. I try to break. I mean, here's the thing. It's not like I'm looking at the scale every week and saying, oh boy, I really need to hit this number, or I can't go above this number. Or it really is how I feel in my clothes. You know, I go to the gym a lot, 4 or 5 times a week. You know what I mean? Like, as long as I feel healthy, I think that's what matters more than a specific number.
Correct. And I've seen your Instagram. You go rock climbing. I mean, you're doing all this crazy stuff. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, absolutely. I just recently have been getting back into the gym because I broke my ankle in January, and I had it was a severe break. I had extensive surgery, a lot of pins and plates. Yeah. So I mean, it's been a rough 2020 for everybody, but prior to COVID, it was rough for me. So finally I'm getting back into the gym and being able to go and do, like high intensity training workouts and things like that. And I feel so good doing it. And that I try to hold on to, because I don't care who you are, unless you literally are somebody that pays a nutritionist, and all of these types of things. Like, your body is always changing, and it's still going to change when you age. It's just like, you have to love yourself at every stage, is what I say. And right now I feel a lot different than I did a year ago, because I'm recovering from an injury and everything like that. But I'm still proud of myself that I'm getting up and moving my body and trying to make myself feel good and things like that. And I think that that's something that people need to focus more on, is how they feel, and they're moving their body, and that's what matters. Right.
And then you get these calls, and here you are trying to do the best that you can, and then you get these calls. But I feel very bad for that woman. That's where the ego took over, is what happened. Yeah. And she's obviously not happy with herself. So what I was trying to say before is, especially like when I feel somebody is hurting me, because recently somebody said to me, Melissa, you're not all that. Out of nowhere. We were talking about something else, and somebody said, you're not all that. I don't go, see, we're in the entertainment industry, right? So that's my job. I'm posting stuff. I'm doing things because I'm proud of my work. It takes a lot for us to sit here and talk to each other while people are looking at us and judging and, what have you. But I love what I do, just like everybody else, so, for somebody to say you're not all that, when that had nothing to do with the conversation at all. And I don't portray myself as that. I actually, up until recently, I have the worst self-esteem in the world. You don't know what I go through as a person, as a woman. Yeah. So, but I like to take a different approach and sit back and say, you know what, this person does have an issue with themselves, and they're taking it out on this beautiful Lindsay here, and
same for you. Yeah. And same for you. I mean, I think that a lot of us have to remember, somebody told me a long time ago that, people that put you down are rarely doing better than you. Yeah. And it's almost a little bit of a jealousy thing too. Yeah. But I don't know. I wasn't raised that way. Yeah. And I think that people forget often that their words really do have power.
They do have power. And it's funny that you say that, because I like to listen to Dr. Deepak Chopra. I had an opportunity to interview him. He was on the cover of Preferred Health magazine. I listen to Dr. Deepak Chopra a lot, and he says, before words get past the lips, the first gatekeeper asks, is it true? Okay, then the second is it kind? The third, is it necessary? So I've done it to plenty of people, okay?
We all have. No one's perfect. Have. Yes.
Nobody's perfect, especially, God bless my sisters. They take a lot of my crap because they're my sisters, I need somebody to let my anger out, although that's not good and it's not an excuse. But I have learned that, if I just sit back, meditate, take a deep breath, don't let ego take over. Mm-hmm. Once ego takes over, I can't compete with ego. So once somebody said that to me, like if you're having a conversation and they say, well, you're not this, you're not that, you've lost me. I'm done. Yeah. I checked out. Yep. I checked out. Yeah. So I like what you said about the words part. And so how are you feeling like today? Like, when you talk about this, do you feel better knowing that there are other people, you're not alone going through this?
I definitely, actually, it's funny. I went and grabbed lunch yesterday afternoon, and the owner of the restaurant told me that, was it his cousin or his niece? Forgive me. I forget. Someone in his family was also new into the broadcasting business. Nice. And they were out in Michigan. Mm-hmm. And they saw my video, and they were just so thankful, because there have been times where they've had to deal with that. And they were like, oh, it was really, he had said to me, she was really happy to see you kind of stand up and and say like, this isn't okay. And I think that that is a culture that I'm trying to change, that it doesn't have to be a big fight, but you don't have to stay silent. And I think that people, men and women, we've done that for a long time. You know, it's just like, oh, you know, don't listen to them, and, you know, just let it roll off your back. Well, you know what? It doesn't. It doesn't.
It does not.
It hurts.
It does.
No matter who it comes from. And I think the idea that because we are in the public eye, that we're not real human beings, or we don't have feelings just like everybody else, I think that that's something that isn't talked about enough, and is going to be mutually beneficial for everybody. I think if we all just, you know, sit back and say, you know what, like, how would this affect somebody who, yes, they might be on television, but they're also a real human being.
Of course. And you're helping out the community too. So you're helping people.
Thank you.
That's the thing. You're helping people. You're giving out the local news. I mean, we should be praising you and not calling you up and putting you down. But yet again, I don't blame that woman. I blame her environment and the way she grew up, perhaps. And I'm not a doctor, but that's just my experience and what I've felt in my life, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree for sure. And I mean, anybody that knows me or follows me, I am very much a mental health advocate too. And that's something that I have learned, just learned behaviors and growing up, you know, in the environment and things in which you learn, especially at a young age. Unfortunately, you know, they plague you for so many years. And that's why, like, I have an 8-year-old niece, and I try to be my best self for her, to show her, you know, you're beautiful no matter how you are, or people that look different are just as beautiful as you. And I think that we need more of that in the world.
We live in a very superficial world, but now with this whole change in this pandemic, I hope that we can grow from this and
Me too.
And learn, because what's the point of doing this journey if we can't grow and learn? And
I love that you said that, because I saw a meme one time that was like, what if 2020 isn't the worst year ever? What if it's the year we all need to grow and change? And I sat back, and I mean, I make jokes. Yesterday, I actually tweeted out, I was like, what if we've only seen the warm up for 2020? Just because making jokes, I love to joke. But it's such a great perspective to have, because there are so many times this year where I sit back and have a greater appreciation for things that I may have not before, especially those that couldn't see their loved ones, or just giving a simple hug to your friend. So, I mean, it's definitely going to be a year we remember.
It's a year of change. And, you know, I always think of, I follow Ashley Graham. Are you familiar with her?
I love her. Yes, I love Ashley Graham. She's so great. She's great.
Yeah, that's the perfect person. She doesn't give a hoot. She's out there breastfeeding, and, you know.
I love what she's doing. I love what she's doing for breastfeeding right now. It's so wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, that's the perfect person. If anybody, you know, needs somebody to look up to, and Lindsay, look up to Lindsay as well. Ashley Graham's amazing too. And she teaches women, it doesn't matter, just as long as you're healthy. And I'll be honest with you, Lindsay, I'm sure I had high blood pressure, high cholesterol not too long ago. I had to change my diet, but because of this whole pandemic, but, you know, and I don't work out. I got to start getting my body. So when I see you, I'm motivated, and you're climbing rocks, you're doing this, you're doing that. I'm like, wow, you know, to me, that's motivation. And,
I'm so glad.
We need more people like you. And I'm sorry that you have to go through this, but perhaps you can find we all can find a different way to handle it. And just think of this woman and say, you know what, I'm going to pray for you. And that's what I told this woman. I said, I'm going to pray for your anger. And she said, she goes, don't bother. I'm like, all right, you know, I'm still going to pray. I'm still going to pray for your anger, because you know, you're too beautiful to be unkind like that. And we've always had a nice relationship, me and this person. And now it's like, you know, I lost a lot of people in my life ever since I started doing my thing here, and it called me. I didn't seek it, you know. So And just like you, so I want to thank you so much for everything that you're doing. You're at News 10 in Rhode Island.
Yes.
And you are one of the co-hosts of Studio 10.
Studio 10, yes. We
Studio
have
10.
a lifestyle show at 12:30. So it's a lot of fun.
I love it so much. Now I have a couple of questions for you, if you don't mind. I'd like to do a quick interview you because you are a rock star in the news world. I was watching all your YouTube things, and I like, what's his name? The gentleman that you worked with. He retired. He's a new
Frank.
Is it Frank? What's the last name?
Frank Coletta?
Yes, I like him.
Oh, I love Frank.
Now, are you from Rhode Island? Because I lived in Rhode Island. Oh, I lived in Rhode Island for 10 years.
Okay.
So I knew Gary. Oh God, I knew
Gary Lay.
Gary Lay.
Gary Lay.
Is he okay?
I think so. I never met him. But
he's a weather guy, right?
He was a meteorologist.
Yeah, I loved him so much. I went there, and then there's Patricia. Who's Patricia? She's an anchor.
Patrice Wood. I love her. Patrice is such an angel. I love her. She's so great.
I'm sorry to bring all these names up, but these people are icons. Yeah.
I was going to say they really are. They really are. Working with them is fantastic. I really do feel privileged to be able to work with them.
Now, you were in Michigan at one point. Is that right?
I was. Yeah, my very first job.
Because you have to you have to kind of shoot out into a different state, right? And do a little local stuff and then come back to the big guys.
You have to start in like a smaller-ish market. I was actually in the second smallest market in the country, in Alpena, Michigan. We do the mitten and then like the top.
Really?
Yeah, I was way up there. I was closer to Canada than I was here.
Wow. How was your first on-air experience, and what would you tell somebody who's starting off as a news reporter? Not to be so nervous in the beginning.
Yeah, I think that I would tell them that everybody messes up. Yeah. So I bet it really is. And I think back sometimes and I'm like, wow, I'm so glad that I made mistakes not here. Yes. And I made mistakes elsewhere. I'm sure that, if I ask Patrice, she has stories. I'm sure that Lester Holt has stories. Yeah. Everybody, no matter how big they are now, they started somewhere. And that is how you learn. So maybe don't punish yourself. Every day is a new day, which is what's really great about news. Start over the next day and get another shot at it.
Because you're all live. You're live all the time.
Most of the time, yeah.
Most of the time, yeah. Wow. Yep. Do you get excited when you get to meet these celebrities? And I do. I just love to meet new people in general. Yeah. I love to learn new things. And I think that's the best part about this career is that we meet new people all the time and we rarely do the same thing twice. Yes. And that's what really motivates me because I'm like a sponge. I like to soak up new things and I like to share that with the world. So I love that. I think it's really great. I don't get nervous. I'm just like hungry for knowledge. I'm hungry to meet new people. So my question to you is how important is it for you to get information out to your community? Do you deal with a lot of crime news?
Yeah, we have average crime. I wouldn't say that, Providence is a decent sized city. It's obviously not New York City. So I would say that we're average. I wouldn't say that we are, overridden with crime or anything like that. But yeah, my first 2 years here, I was on the streets in the morning, doing hard news stories. So I was at crimes, fires, and things like that. Wow. And oddly enough, I did enjoy that. I think that sounds weird saying out loud, but you create a lot of relationships with people in neighborhoods that maybe they saw something and that's kind of when you're on the street is when you really make those relationships and people get to know you and you meet people. And I really enjoyed that, even though people are like, how can you enjoy if you're at a really sad story? Yeah. And I always thought of it as I could be doing the saddest story in the world. I could be interviewing someone or knocking on the door of a mother that lost their son. But if I can give her a hug, which I know COVID, we can't do right now, but yeah, I had a lot of times I would be in sad stories and they would say, thank you. I'd be like, you know what, let's just talk. Yeah. Sometimes it's therapeutic for them. And if I can make their day just a little bit better, then I'm happy to do that.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I'm on the writing side of it. So I write for the local news here, and I love to help out the community. And I've had a couple of
Yeah.
the people who are advocates in Brooklyn on the show, because it's just so important for the work that we do.
Of course.
We just don't want to get ridiculed for it. We just want to do our job and be, we're women, so we want to look pretty and wear our dresses. Look how beautiful that dress is that you're wearing,
I
and
know.
you want to feel like a woman, and I do too. So when I go to these, events, and I get dolled up, and that's the fun part of the job.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I miss those.
I know. I miss those too. Yeah, that's fun.
Are you in the studio now? Are you working in the
Oh, yes. Yes, I'm in the studio. I am actually, next week, I'm changing my schedule. I've been covering a maternity leave for one of our nightside anchors.
Oh, nice.
So I'm going back to mornings next week. So 3:15 a.m.
Oh my God. That's all. Well, what time do you usually go to bed then, if you're waking up at...
Hopefully I try to go to bed by 8, but
wow,
you never know. Sometimes your brain is just like,
yeah, totally.
So
now, where do you see yourself in 5 years, Lindsay? Do you have any
question?
goals?
I always say I never shut the door to any opportunities, but I do love being at home.
Yeah.
And hopefully growing my career here. If it's obviously what I want and what my station wants, if it's mutually beneficial, I think that is something that drives me, is the fact, and I'm sure you can relate, I care so much about this community.
Yeah.
It's where my family is. It's where a lot of my friends are.
Yes.
It's my childhood. I could see myself raising children here. And I think that's just a passion that you can't fake. Right. You either have it or you don't. And I would love to, build my career here and to just continue to strengthen as a journalist and to strengthen our station.
That's wonderful. And it's News 10?
NBC 10. Yep, we're NBC 10.
Oh, okay. And when can we watch you?
So starting next week, you can watch me every day at 12:30. You can watch our lifestyle show, which honestly is so awesome. We have so much fun. We do cooking segments. We do all sorts of stuff. And then I'll be doing the morning show from 4:30 a.m. to 7 a.m.
That's so awesome. And just one last thing. What would you tell women who are getting shamed for who they are, what they look like?
I think I would say that it's okay to have bad days and it's okay to have good days.
Yeah.
And it's a journey that never ends. I read something that said that body positivity sometimes can almost make it seem like you're not allowed to have bad days. And I read something called body neutrality. And I was like, wow, that's a really good point. Because you know what? It's okay if sometimes you don't feel great and you're having a bad day and you want to eat pizza. Do it. And it's okay if you feel great and you want to kick butt in the gym and you want to come home and you're like, you know what? I'm going to make a healthy meal tonight. I'm going to meal prep. That's great too. Like, no one's perfect. And I think that as hard as it is, even for us to block it out, because obviously that message hurt my feelings, is to remember that they don't define you. And if you can get up in the morning and look at yourself every day and be happy with who you are as a person, then you know what? That's more than the people that are shaming you can probably say.
Totally agree. We're going to put up a hotline for suicide, because people do commit suicide for the way people get treated, and bullying. So I want to thank you so much for being here. You're wonderful. Keep being great and keep being beautiful.
Oh, Melissa, thank you so much. And I'm glad that you said that you were going to put that up. Actually, before I go, I want to share this. I only have one tattoo. I have a semicolon tattoo because I think it incorporates everything in my life. I've lost some really important people to me when I was really young, and I struggled through that. And obviously I've struggled with a lot of body image and hurtful thoughts and things. And I got a semicolon tattoo for the mental health movement that is where your life could stop, but you kept going.
That's right.
And I want people to remember that, because when I'm having a bad day, I look at this and I smile and I'm like, you know what? It's a bad day. It's not a bad life. It's all right.
That's right. And, I wanted to also thank you so much for sharing that with us. And I love that tattoo. A lot of people have that tattoo. Last year, 2019, Lindsay was Man and Woman of the Year. She raised $54,000 in regards to her childhood friend, Andrew, from ALL. He passed away from leukemia.
Yes.
Was it leukemia?
Yes, he did.
I got the chills right now. I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
So I want to thank you so much. Did you want to say anything about that and promote it? Because I know that you're a big advocate for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm part of, I'm on the board for the Rhode Island chapter for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. And it's a tough time right now because of COVID and everything. But hey, if there's anything you can do in your community to help those that, do have cancer right now or are battling, just imagine what we're going through. And then on top of it, those people that are sick. It's a brutal time for everybody. So maybe just say a prayer, even if you can.
I have a friend, Dr. Kelly Powers. She was on the cover of our magazine. This woman 2 years ago went through a heart problem. Oh. Now she had a brain tumor, and now she's going through chemo. So, Dr. Kelly Powers, we love you. She's a correspondent, but she's a podiatric surgeon too, and the most brilliant person you've ever met, and kind and gorgeous. And we need to build women up and our friends. And I'm going to start getting choked up because it's important that we understand what people are going through.
It really is.
Thank you so much. You're the best. Keep being great.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hi, Shohini. Thank you so much for joining us today. You are joining us from India. What part of India are you in?
I'm from Eastern India, the state of West Bengal.
I'm so excited to have you on today. I reached out to my Instagram friends and you submitted one of your poems. And because we are talking about bullying, I'd like for you to read your poem, I Am Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. I'm so honored to be here. And so I'm just going to start reading I Am Beautiful. And everybody who is listening to me, I just want you to repeat the word I am beautiful with me so that we feel this beauty within us together. So with that, without further ado, I'll start reading.
Thank you.
So here it is. I am beautiful, irrespective of my caste, race, creed, or religion. I am the reason for your creation. I am beautiful, indifferent towards your narrow opinions. I choose to let the light shine towards your oblivion. I am beautiful, breaking the barriers of perfect fits or skinny jeans. I am not going to deprive myself from having those sweet treats. I am beautiful, embracing my skinny limbs or thick cheeks, flaunting my confidence to burn you down like anything. I am beautiful, dark, pale, or tan. My personality is going to make you my fan. I am beautiful, 6-inch hills or flat. I will still stand holding my head high. I am beautiful, shaggy, chubby, or muscular. You don't have to be so particular. I am beautiful, black, blues, or pink. Who cares if it doesn't matches my skin? I am beautiful, miniskirt, pajamas, or formals. You stop measuring what makes me slutty, beautiful, or normal. I am beautiful. I teach skill, I cook meals or shoot enemies in the faraway hills. I do not let society choose for me between what's love and what's a sin. Because I am me, the creator and the protector, the nourisher, and also the destroyer. I am the revolution, the face of change.
I love it so much. Where did that come from? Were you ever bullied were you ever bullied at all?
Yeah, I mean, I would not say like technically if you go to the definition of bullying and anything harsh, but growing up we all in the high school culture and the school culture, all these things where we are constantly judged for small thing, and if you don't fit in the categories, people judge you, and that kind of affects your confidence, and this thing adds up. They're very small things and they adds up and ultimately affects how you grow up to be. And now I realize, yes, I've been judged constantly, being it how I looked at, how I was a little overweight, like I would not say like, healthy, and also constantly if I'm going for a trial for a sports team, even teachers, you should not go, you should not do this, or friends, or even if I want to share something, sometimes my my thoughts are restricted. So they're very very minute things, but the effect, and I have realized it has affected me, and maybe that is the reason it came from, that I wanted nobody to feel, because Melissa, this is a very very important topic. Every 40 seconds somebody commits suicide according to WHO, and this is heartbreaking for me, and the COVID-19 has increased the rates. This is so heartbreaking, and I really feel bad, and I don't want anybody to feel claustrophobic in a group because of a pressure. We're all beautiful, and people like this will always force us, but we have to shine, and that this is for him. So thank you so much again.
I love it
I'm
so
just like,
much. Thank
sorry,
you
I'm
so much. No, please. It's so nice to get perspectives from somebody across the world. I mean, I'm in New York City, you're in India. We're having the same issues. And it's all
Yes.
around the globe, and it's we need to bring awareness to this because this year is about change. Tell us how it is in India right now. What's going on there? Are you guys safe? Do you feel safe? Or
Yeah, I mean the rate of recovery, I mean, the rate of cases that is happening per day, and the rate of recovery, the rate of recovery is increasing, and the cases per day is decreasing. So if this continues, this rate, that the number of people recovering per day is more than the number of cases, so it will decline. Like at this moment, they're saying that we are in the peak moment, but again things are uncertain. But yes, we are we are just like unlocking stage. We are stage by stage we're unlocking. But schools and university, I'm an university student, postgraduate student, so I'm doing my MBA, so my classes are going online. So schools and colleges, they are in a stage, but shops and malls and all these things,
Yeah.
they are opening in a stage by stage, similar to America, I would say. And if you see India and America, both we are in the top 3 countries in the world most affected by COVID.
Yeah.
So we can relate. The same way is affecting us equally.
Yeah. You're so sweet. Where are you, what are you going to school for?
I'm doing MBA,
MBA.
Masters of Business Administration,
Wow.
post graduation.
That's great. That's great. It's a great field to be in. Well, thank you so much for, thank
You are
you.
being so sweet.
You're so sweet too. Thank you so much for joining us today. I know that it's, what is it, 10 o'clock there? 10 p.m.? All right.
No, it's 10:45.
Oh, 10:45.
No, it's 10:45.
Oh my God, that's
No,
PM.
no. I'm honored. I just like I can't express.
Thank you so much, and God bless you, and just keep being great. And I hope to have you on again. Will you come on and write another poem for us? Thank you, darling. All right, I wish you well, and we'll talk soon. Okay.
Bye.
Bye, darling. Bye-bye.
If you or someone you know are getting shamed or bullied and feel there is no way out, please call the Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 800-273-8255. Once again, that number is 800-273-8255. You are never alone, and people are out there to help you.
Making a Difference is sponsored by Preferred Health Magazine. Please visit www.preferredhealthmagazine.com today and subscribe.